welcome back to the Hoops Lounge. We're the show with less problems than David Blatt. My name is Marc Griffin, aka Montreal Marc. This is my partner in crime, Phil Boileau, Sporting Phil. We've got a new segment on the show we're starting this week, and it's a title Phil came up with. It's called the Bynum Gang.
We still don't have like a hand signal for it or like little gestures, but we'll come up with that, or I'm sure one of the people on the gang will inspire us.
Well, so basically, if you've been following the show for a while, one hashtag Phil came up with is called the Bynum effect. This kind of curse Andrew Bynum's had on several franchises over the last few years, and we decided to come up with the Bynum Gang, basically for guys who are just, for lack of a better word, rotten apples, who have a tendency to just kind of make things go downhill wherever they go. And of course, Andrew Bynum is going to start. He's going to be the leader of this gang. He always will be. Because
the alpha.
Let me just, there's four teams. The Lakers, the Sixers, which he didn't suit up for, the Cavs, and the Pacers. Look at them all right now.
Not doing well.
He's not even in the league. He's still just terrorizing these guys. But we're going to add guys to this. As we said, we have a few guys we're going to start with today. And if you have any more, by the way, throw them our way. We always want to be adding more members to this gang.
Comments below.
I want you to go first. Who do you have in the gang?
I got a bit of a weird one.
Okay.
I don't think this is going to go on most people's names. Carlos Boozer.
Yeah.
Carlos Boozer. Cleveland Cavaliers started out. Could have been with LeBron. Decided to leave. Mm-hmm. Then with the Utah Jazz. Was fairly successful regular season, but a playoff nightmare for years. Mm-hmm. Moves on. Chicago gets them nowhere. They can't even play him in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Now he's on the Lakers, where he should have full chance to flourish, doing nothing. Even been brought to the bench in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. He's got to be my first pick.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going with Josh Smith, who everyone's talking about. Obviously, Stan Van Gundy is not going to pay a guy to leave his team unless he's doing very bad things. And the Detroit right now is 7-1 without him. Houston, I think, is about 500. He's not playing off the bench. But it's just like it's been this miraculous turnaround in Detroit. I think they have spacing. They have an ability for their bigs to actually have space in the court. Jennings can do his thing. And it's making Stan Van Gundy look like a genius right now.
Well, let's not forget, he was originally with Atlanta. And Atlanta is now very successful not having him.
That's true.
So these are two... like if Detroit had started the year on the pace they are now, we'd be talking about two playoff teams. Yeah. And Houston, if they had started the year the way they're playing now, they would make the playoffs.
Scary.
He went from a starter to the bench, even though he's like Dwight Howard's best friend in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Who you got next?
One of my guys next, I actually have, it's a little bit weird because he was winning on one team, but JaVale McGee.
Okay.
He was in Washington.
Yeah.
As he got traded for Nene. Now they're winning. Mm-hmm. He was in Denver. He didn't play that much, and Denver was a bit successful. But all his career, he's just been this bonehead guy making about $10 million a year, really not helping your chemistry, not helping your on-court play. There's a lot of plays like that. JaVale McGee, and how can you not have a guy who started shacking a fool on the old Bynum Gang?
Yeah, I love that. I'm going with Rudy Gay. Obviously, starting in Memphis, they had a pretty damn good squad, but when he left, they became a great squad. They went to the Western Conference Finals. Then he went to the Raptors, obviously, for about a year, and then they broke up that squad completely. Either Masai was an evil genius or things just kind of came together. They brought guys from Sacramento, and Toronto has just become an elite franchise since Rudy leaving. So he's done it to two squads. And Sacramento is just a mess right now since firing their coach. Boogie's just kind of re-booging himself back to the days of old. That team's a mess. So he's just kind of been haunting three different teams.
And look at the two teams, again, which he's left. Memphis, one of the best teams in the whole league, and Toronto having their best year ever.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Addition by subtraction. I got to put, weirdly enough, I got to start throwing Lance Stephenson into this conversation. Yeah. I think he was protected in a lot of ways by a lot of good players in Indianapolis. So when he played for the Pacers, I think their record was... you had Hibbert, you had Paul George, you had George Hill, you had a good coach. It's tough to not win games. Mm-hmm. But when he has to be the man, every opportunity with the Hornets, it's not working out.
I got one left.
Okay.
And it's a big name, and I don't think it's discussed enough. Carmelo Anthony. When he left the Denver Nuggets, they went on to win.
I like that one, actually.
15 straight games in the West. I think it was that season.
He did bring them to the playoffs once.
But that team came together with Gallo and Nene and those guys. All came together. Gallo got injured in the second round of the playoffs. They could have made it to the Western Conference, maybe the NBA Finals that year.
Well, don't forget that Denver got a king's ransom for Melo, and the guy who made that all happen was Masai Ujiri of the Raptors.
That's true. He has kind of an imprint all over the place. But have to look at the New York Knicks right now. The worst start in franchise history. Guys wearing bags on their heads. The game the other day on Sunday, the front row of all the celebrities, there were 25 people paying $3,000 each to sit there. The front row was empty. He is just, he's a talented guy, but things just are not working out wherever he's played in the last 10 years in the league.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and especially the money he's making, the offense value. I mean, what does he really bring to a team? And my last guy on this team, I'm going to stick with the Knicks.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick with another former Raptor, Andrea Bargnani.
Oh, God.
When he drafted number 1 overall over the likes of Rudy Gay, in hindsight, maybe not a bad thing, LaMarcus Aldridge, Brandon Roy. Mm-hmm. There were some good guys in that draft, especially to this day, Raptors fans don't understand how they didn't draft LaMarcus Aldridge, considering he was friends with Chris Bosh and TJ Ford at the time. But Andrea Bargnani, supposed to have the ability to stretch the floor, big man, fairly athletic. With Toronto, never won. With the Knicks, never won. He's just that guy who eats up shots, salary, and he definitely belongs on this gang. I somehow feel that Bynum and Bargnani would be a little bit troublesome at first, them integrating, but I think after a couple games of cards, they'd be okay.
I think they'd be good, and it baffles my mind that Bynum's not in the league. He's really 27, 28 years old right now, and he was an all-star, 3 years ago? He's not in the league anymore.
Well, it was funny, right? Because when Bynum was with the Lakers, he was seen as one of these up-and-coming players. I mean, he was dealing with injuries and such, but then everything just spiraled as soon as it turned into that whole Dwight Howard kind of idea. I think they... And it's funny, right? Because did the Bynum effect start because of Dwight Howard? This is the rabbit hole. We could go into this forever, but this has been our Bynum Gang.
And we, like you said, send us suggestions for more members of the gang. Doesn't necessarily have to be NBA players, by the way. It's kind of a worldwide cult.
Could be D-League players, because chances are a lot of these guys...
and girls.
Girls. Oh, well, I'm going to have to add one to the team right away. It's Stephon Marbury from years ago. Didn't quite make it, even though he had a chance to play with KG early on in the career. But yeah, please let us know, because we're going to do another update on the Bynum Gang as more members are added, as he becomes more and more powerful in the NBA. I hope Boogie doesn't make that list, but I have a feeling he's on some kind of a trajectory.
He needs a real coach again, and hopefully George Karl gets thrown in the mix next year. Because
he doesn't have that much hair to lose. I don't know.
Yeah,
George Karl will be tough.
It's tough seeing Boogie just regressing like that. I don't want him in the gang.
No, he's not going to be in the gang. All right, so let us know who you think should be in the gang. And so what's coming up with you this week?
Well, check out the piece on the Detroit Pistons, Stan Van Gundy sacrificing chickens on hoopslounge.com. And I have a piece on Soul Shift about Dikembe Mutombo coming out. We got to play hoops against Dikembe, so I was writing about that there.
He's a big man.
And what about you?
I'm waiting for a couple trades to finalize here. There's a lot of noise. We're going to be having some more off the wires when stuff breaks, and some fill in the trades to put some analysis to these trades, see where they fit, and see if you guys agree or disagree. This is why we play the game. So, as always, catch us at hoopslounge.com, the contributor section at the top. You can catch any of our information, but please feel free to reach out. We'd love to engage in the conversation. So, for myself and Marc, I want to say thanks, and we'll catch you next time in the lounge.
Bye, Num!